we can wait for a few people to show up. Don't want music to be too loud, but I also can't stand the silence. So, so how are you guys? How's everybody been? If you guys can still hear my voice is still a little not the best. I'm still a little congested from COVID. Sorry. Idea. Hey girl, hey. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I should have like a white light or if I should do a red one to try and be more fun. But I can't decide what looks better. Not green. Green has never been flattering to anybody. This feels kind of like a party, but it also feels like a little too much. And then green, no thanks. Blue, purple, yellow, and then epilepsy. So we're not going to do that one. I think I'll stick with clear light so y'all can see me. All right, we're going to do that. Hey guys. So I just want y'all to know it is like 1 a.m. here. It's 1:15. So I'm not exactly sure how long this stream will be, but it is the first one I've done in months and months and months, and it's only the second one I think I've ever done in Korea. The first one was when I was quarantining last year, the 14-day quarantine and stuff. So now I'm here, and yeah, wanted to do another live. I want to do a few more of these for the rest of the summer, but it's just the time schedule, man. Like, it is 12:16 p.m. East Coast time, and that's where I'm like from, so that's usually where I base all my time stuff. But being over here, it's 1:15 a.m. So this was hard to find a convenient time for you guys, but also one that's not like 6 a.m. for me. Feeling like a norebang. It's funny because there's actually a norebang right downstairs. So if you guys hear sarangha in the background or bass, that's why we're right above a norebang. Okay, so we got DC, New York, India, Florida. Oh my god. Wow, Israel, what time it is? Or India, I mean, what time is it in India? And Israel. Oh my goodness. Oklahoma. Oh, Virginia, that's where my dad lives. Oh man. Oh, South Africa. Wow. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, and another South Africa. 9:45 p.m. Jamaica. Oh, Wales. Australia. Oh, London. Oh, my shirt says London on it. Ooh. You know what's funny? So, for those who don't know, I on last Sunday I started showing symptoms of something. I was like, "Oh, I have like body aches. I have a headache. Something's going on." And then Monday I felt like death. Last Monday, and then I was taking negative tests. So I was like, "Okay, it's not COVID. I don't know what this is." So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I started to feel better, but those first 3 days were death. And then I finally tested positive on Friday. Thursday or Friday, I tested positive, and I was like, "Oh no, I finally got the Rona." And then Saturday, I tested negative, and then I haven't been showing symptoms at all from like Friday or Saturday onward. And then we went out last week, or this week technically. We went to do some rock climbing. We played volleyball on the beach. And then we went to this really cool little bar called Minority Opinion. Literally, it seats like 8 people max. The bartender is the owner, and he like talks up with everyone. Like, he's like, "So where are you guys from? How old are you? What do you do for a living?" And like, it's a good place to go by yourself, and then you can make some friends. So it's really nice. But ever since I got back, I've had a slight cough. So I don't know if it's COVID that didn't fully go away, but it doesn't feel like anything else. Like, I don't have body aches or a headache, or like I don't feel the death that I felt before because I was dizzy, and that was not fun. But it was short. It was intense but short. So yeah, ever since a few days ago, I woke up again with a cough. I don't know why. So, all right, let me answer you guys' questions because that's why we are here. It's time to catch up. It has been a while since we've been able to chat. Excuse me. I got my green tea and honey concoction so I can keep my vocals fresh. 질문이 있어요? Who's got? Oh, okay, Andrea. I haven't seen your last few videos, so I'm just curious about you in London Bay. Yeah, so before we left for the summer, I did mention a few times that he's going to be in Japan for the summer, and I'm going to be in Korea for the summer, and we were hoping that he would be able to come here and or I would be able to go there, but Korea has suspended their like tourist visa upon arrival thing, visa-free entry for Japanese nationals. So he'd have to apply for a visa to come here and visit. And with his work schedule and how busy the embassy's been, he has not been able to get an appointment to come here. And Japan is still being very, very strict. Like you can visit Japan, but you have to book like a chaperoned trip. Like literally, it's like an expensive ass field trip, and that's no fun. So the places I was looking up was going to be like $4,000 for 12 days, and I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll try again in Christmas. But yeah, so our plans to swap countries and meet up over the summer has not gone according to plan. So we've been talking about maybe Thailand in a few weeks. That's a big maybe. But yeah, everything's still what it was. We just haven't seen each other all summer. Okay, It Girls and Boys visiting Seoul April 2023, staying for 2 months. Any suggestions? Hmm. Suggestions for Seoul. So I would say I don't know what time of year you're coming. Just be warned that summer is very intense, hot, and humid here. Jangma, the rainy season. It's not a very ideal time to be here. Like they were just saying, or like showing pictures how Han River flooded. Like it was really bad, and I've never seen Han River like with that much water in it. So I would recommend like spring-ish, early mid-spring, or like late summer, early autumn to come. But as far as activities and stuff, I actually haven't been back to Seoul yet since I got here. I spent my whole time in Jeju. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm probably gonna go to Seoul in like a week or two. It's just when it's hot and crowded and humid, I haven't really had the desire to go up there. But um, one of my favorite places to recommend, it's not in Seoul, but it's like a short train ride away. It's called Nami Island, Namisom. It is so beautiful there. Like, it's good to go to see cherry blossoms. It's really good to go to see like the fall foliage, depending on what time of year you go. But Nami Island, I will always recommend that place. It was so beautiful. There's water sports. There's like a zip line you can do that was really nice. Yeah. Sorry. Next question. Kristen Higgins, what's a KETA? Okay, so from what I understand, I think it was from September of 2021. All people who can visit Korea on a visa-free situation, like you can just show up and get a visa, you have to apply for a KETA. Not everyone has to get a KETA. Like if you have to apply for a tourist visa, then I don't think you have to get a KETA. But like if you're American, Canadian, British, etc., like if you were one of those people who could come to Korea visa-free, you have to get a KETA. Basically, it costs like $8. You just you give your information, like you say your name, your birthday. I can think I can show you mine briefly, but or I'll just read from it. So they put it in this paper, and it's good for like 2 years. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take this with me every time I come here, but oh, here it is. Wait, that's not it. Where is it? Okay. So yeah, basically the KETA just gives you permission to be here. It's good for 2 years. You have to put your nationality, your passport, your birthday, full name, why you're coming, things like that. But it's basically just like another document, another way for them to keep track of you. I don't fully know what the purpose is, but it's only for people who can come here visa free. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay. But yeah, it's only like $8 US. It was very cheap. I applied for it. From the time like hitting submit and getting the email that it was all confirmed, it was like a few hours. It didn't take long at all. It's like one of those extra little formalities now that they require, and a lot of countries are actually starting to do them. Like when we went to the US, my boyfriend had to get one for the US. So, but it's good for a while. It's really cheap, so you shouldn't really have any problem with that. I'm so sorry. Okay. Bangtania, can I make money on YouTube on a D4 visa Korean learning program? See, the thing with like online income is there's no way to really like get in trouble because it's not like centralized. Like I know a lot of people here, for example, who only have like a tourist visa, and there's companies who hire them to be like online tutors because they know it's not like a formal claimed income and it's not based in that country. Like for like me, for example, like I'm American and the most of my viewers are American. My bank is Korean, but my currency is in USD. Everything else, like my taxes, all that is tied to the US. So there's no real crime. There's nothing illegal about that because it's like your extra side income. It's not like a full-time thing where you have to get like permission and sponsors and like visa sponsorships or anything like that. I've met a lot of people who were here teaching on an E2 visa. Like so many of us came here on an E2 visa. They started their YouTube channel, they started like side modeling or whatever, and it was perfectly fine. So you should be good. Trying to keep up with the scrolling, my bad. Oh, I see you guys are talking about hair places. Okay, so yeah, that honestly, like the biggest inconvenience in Korea as a woman of color is hair products. You guys can see all this stuff back here. That's like all Bria stuff. She pretty you. It's so much cheaper and more convenient to just order everything. I'm so sorry. It's a lot more convenient to order everything because Amazon delivers here very, affordably, and quickly. Like I just ordered some blonde because I want to put some blonde in here. And that should be here in like a week or so. Because even the one in Itaewon, I haven't been there in a while. Like I haven't been there since last year, but it's so overpriced. I remember the first time I wanted to braid my hair in Korea. It was summer of 2018. It was before I was going to Hong Kong, so I was like, oh, I want to do my hair in some twists. And the braiding hair was so ridiculously overpriced. So like one pack, I think was like 20.99, and to do my whole head I was going to need at least 3 or 4. So I was like, I'm not spending this much money on this. I would highly recommend just ordering everything and bringing it with you if that's at all possible because you save yourself a lot of money. It's so ridiculous. Whew, I am. Hold on. I've been trying to not talk all day so I could like save my vocals, and I think it's running out pretty fast. Um, all right. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Sorry. Money camp. Are there disabled people in Korea? Oh yeah. Thing it's nice though because I feel like things are finally starting to become more accessible for disabled people because it hasn't always been that way. Where you see things that have like a billion stairs and there's like no elevator or anything like that. But yeah, like you see people, on the sidewalk and they're in like a wheelchair or um also, I don't know, do you mean like physical disabilities or like mental disabilities? Because yeah, both of that, everything, that's all here. Like Korea, it's just like any other country. Nini, I'm going to Korea at the end of November and I want to ship my luggage. Any advice on who to go through? I don't want my bags to get lost because of Canada Air. Wait, so how much stuff are you bringing? Because that sounds kind of pricey. um, I've never actually brought that much stuff to like that required me to ship it ahead of time. Even my friends, I don't think we've ever really had to do that. Um, there have been situations where like they were moving back to the States, so they like shipped everything on a ship and like just let it take the months that it would take to get back to the States. But um, I don't know. I'm sorry. I never really had to do that. I never had to like pre-ship my stuff before I came. Mm, just call me back. Oh my God, that's so expensive. It makes it. Yeah, it's so crazy. Priscilla Pinion. AliExpress don't send for free in Korea. It's not free, but it's very, very cheap. Like I've never ordered from there. I've always ordered from like Amazon, regretfully. But Bria was like, "Why don't you just order from AliExpress?" Like she orders from them all the time, and she has like no, because she does hair, so like she does hair on the side. So say a client wants like bright pink hair or this particular wig installed, and she orders it from AliExpress, and she usually has like enough time to order it before her hair appointment, and everything is fine. Like AliExpress has pretty good shipping to come here. Oh, got some little BTS playlist going here on YouTube. Okay, I'm with it. All right. Oh, I'm staying for 3 months, so one suitcase, but Air Canada is losing luggage. Honestly, if it's one, I don't know if it's really worth sending it ahead. I feel like I don't know. Like I've always just kept my luggage with me. I haven't had any problems, but I also never flew Air Canada. Um, I would recommend maybe getting like the flight insurance because that's only like an extra $10 or something, depending on what website you book it on. But I don't know if I would really ship it ahead. I did have a situation where in 2019 when I had to fly from DC to Shanghai, no, DC to Beijing, Beijing to Seoul, and my flight from Beijing to Seoul was canceled, but my luggage went straight from DC to Seoul. So, or that's what they told me was going to happen, but it got stuck in Shanghai and Beijing, and I made it to Seoul before my luggage did. And I did have to like wait at the airport for a few hours for my luggage to come in on another flight, but that was like the closest I've had to like a lost luggage situation. It was just flying in later because of another canceled flight. Nia Jones, any experience driving in Korea, coming from the UK and wanting to drive away from the cities? I am 29 and I do not have my license. Yeah, but um, both of my friends, Bria and Kate, they got their international licenses and they drive here. They were saying how freaked out they were about how easy the test was, but basically, what they keep complaining about is the way that driving test works here is like even when you take like Korea's driver's ed, it's designed to help you pass the test, not really to help you actually drive on the road. So I'm not gonna lie, being in a car here makes me nervous. Like the way people don't signal when they turn, or the way people just, it's like lawlessness. Like people almost run you over all the time. I could never drive here. I never would want to drive here. My friends seem to be handling it just fine, but I could never. I don't have like the nerves for that, but it seems very easy for foreigners to like drive here and apply for your international license. So, yeah. Asia. So Bria buys hair for the clients and she charges extra for that. Yeah, so she'll have like a deposit. Like say they want I don't know, like rainbow hair dye. If she needs to buy green, blue, purple, orange, yellow hair dye, then she'll have them send like a $50, $60 deposit for it. And then the act of putting it in or braiding it however she wants it, then she like charges the rest later. But yeah, um, I'm gonna try this name. I'm sorry. Shamin Danji. Would you ever visit South Asia or West Asia? Um, I haven't really thought about it all that much. I did want to go to India. I wanted to go to Mumbai after what was this movie I saw? No, no, it was a documentary I saw, and I wanted to go to Mumbai really bad. But I'm also not a big fan of hot or crowded places, so I know what I'd be signing up for. I know, yeah, I haven't really thought about it since I don't know, maybe I was like 20, but I never say never. You know, like if the opportunity came up for me to go, I'd definitely go. I wouldn't be like, no thanks. So, as far as West Asia, I haven't really thought about that so much. Excuse me. Um, it's Melrick. I can't read. I'm sorry. Are you still sick? It's so weird. I said this before. Like I was perfectly fine, no symptoms, and then after 2 days of going out, my throat started to get like sore. So it's just my throat, and you can hear that I have a cough again. Nothing else is like progressed. Like it's not the body aches or the dizziness or sleeping like a dead person like I was before. It's literally just this and a cough, and it's very frustrating because other than that, I really feel completely fine. But yeah. Um. All right. Oh yeah, I never knew what an air tag was either. Excuse me. Oh. A few of those came in at once. Okay. Um. Yaban. Oh my God. I cannot read. Yabanathi N. If you're an ESL teacher in South Korea, are you allowed to make extra money like starting a small business? Um, if you want to start a small business in Korea, you're not allowed to do that. Like even when I signed my contract, like every contract, they told me like I was not allowed to generate any other income that was based in Korea. Like nothing, like not having a second job or second employer. Um, yeah, and honestly, with your teaching schedule, I'm not sure if you'd be able to have enough time to do both because teaching keeps you so busy, especially if you're full time, which I assume you would be, or if you're at a hagwon, even more so because you get like no vacation days, you get no time off. So I don't even think that that would be very practical, but I also don't think that's allowed at the same time with, especially on an E2 visa. You're very restricted on an E2 visa with things like that. Like I remember even we were told we're not even allowed to like participate in protests and stuff. And like if we were outside and there was like a protest going on and we joined and something happened where like the cops got involved and we got arrested, we'd be fired. Like we'd be in trouble. We could maybe get deported. They would unsponsor our visa. It's so crazy. So yeah. Um, Antoinette, have you tried going to a hospital? I I haven't felt bad enough to go to the hospital. So if I mean, trust me, if it gets bad, like yeah, I'm gonna go to the hospital. But my breathing wasn't like affected. I just needed to sleep. Like I took my Excedrin. I slept a lot, had a lot of tea and soup, and I felt fine. Like all the severe symptoms were gone after like 4 days. Y'all know what's crazy though? So my family reunion just happened in North Carolina, and all this time, my mom, my grandma, nobody on my mom's side except my aunt had COVID. And my mom told me she just got it. She told me my grandmother just got it. She told me my great aunt might have it. She told me that my cousin Warren might have it. Like, all we've spent 2.5 years avoiding COVID, and we're all getting it at the same time. Like, even my friend Erin in Cali, she got it. Her parents got it. Bria, we all got it days apart in different time zones, different countries, different regions. I am baffled. Like, I cannot believe that. And my mom was like, "Oh, I hope you're okay." Like, she was so worried about me. And she was like, "Well, you know me, I don't play. I'm keeping my mask on." And then when she told me she was feeling sick, she said, so I slipped up a little bit. I didn't always have my mask on. I'm like, Mom, you cannot be slipping up because I was particularly worried about her because of her heart and all that stuff. So she had to get like two different boosters and she's fine now. Like she said, she got symptoms last Sunday, um, and Monday she says she threw up, but she thinks it was because she had medicine on an empty stomach. And then Tuesday she woke up congested, and that was it. She said she was done. So, all right, sorry. Back to the questions. It girls and boys are any other jobs for foreigners besides teaching? Because I don't have a degree, and I know you need a degree to teach. Um, Aside from like entertainment stuff, like, a lot of foreigners come here and they're like extras in shows, they do modeling. There's a lot of foreign models in here, like in Korea. Also there's military. That's like probably the second most popular besides teaching. There's so many military people here that are foreigners. And depending on what town you're in or what holiday it might be, you might forget you're in Korea. Like, oh my God, where'd all these foreign people come from? But yeah, aside from entertainment and military, I don't really, I mean, oh, granted, like I get this question a lot because a lot of people do want to come here and they don't want to teach, but I feel like it's just like any other country, like where if you can prove you can be hired, like granted, you would have to learn Korean and probably be fluent, but foreigners open businesses here. I know one black man, he's a business owner at a few places in Itaewon and Gangnam. My friend Bria, she's transitioning to owning a restaurant. So like it's definitely very possible, but you do need to like learn Korean. You need to get someone to sponsor your visa and make sure you're allowed to work here. But I did just see something from the Korean Herald where the current president is trying to deal with like Korea's Asian population because people are getting older here and it's not being replaced by births because birth rates are steadily declining. So they've been trying to come up with different schemes to make foreigners want to come and work in Korea and stay in Korea. So that's something to consider too. It seems like they're trying to welcome foreigners more. Oh, Bria's here. Hold on. Sorry, Bria's been working and I think she just came back. Okay. Bal, what's the experience you heard about being gay in Korea? I'm gay and I saw a video about pride from a Korean person. I want to know your opinions as a foreigner. Unfortunately, the government is not really doing anything to be welcoming to LGBTQ plus people on that front, like at all. But socially, I think it's becoming a lot more acceptable. Like you see gay people, you see couples, on even like on Instagram, they're very popular and they have a lot of support. And they just had Pride, I think like July 15th or 14th, after it was almost canceled and people were trying really hard to get it canceled, but it persevered. It happened. And it's always like a really big crowd. I will say that's like Seoul though, because outside of Seoul, obviously, like with any country, major cities have more people with more diversity, more different backgrounds and mindsets. So in a place like Seoul, I don't think you'll have any problems. Outside of Seoul, depending on how country or small the town is, you know, you might get extra stares or hate or something like that. But unfortunately, the government is really not making any strides towards making like same-sex marriage legal or welcoming in that regard. So they still got a long way to go in many aspects. But even look at the states where it's looking like that might be um, stripped away. Like it's just, I'm sorry, I don't want to get political, but yeah, okay. Um, okay. Ha, fire. 불타오네. Alright. Yebanathi, after you arrived in South Korea, can you use the same cell phone and get a new SIM card, or do you have to get a new phone? So that depends on like if you're like locked into a phone plan with your company. So I never use any Korean SIM card, which has made my life notably more difficult. I've always just got like a Wi-Fi egg. I rent them through Trazy. Even when I had like a cell phone plan, I had KT and I had like this little mint green Wi-Fi egg. It was like unlimited for the month. But now that my phone is paid off, I could get a Korean SIM card if I want to. I just like to have my US number attached because I get like a lot of email verification stuff, or like even when I log into my bank account, they'll say, "Oh, we don't recognize this number. We need to verify your identity." And I'm so sick of those types of prompts because it happens when I'm in London, for example, because I do have a SIM card I use there. So you shouldn't have any problem using a SIM card. Most people who come here, I know, use SIM cards. I'm just a dinosaur. I'm slow and I'm extra, and I just use a Wi-Fi egg. Ooh. Alright, 다른 질문이 있어요? Trying to really absorb that honey. Oh, I didn't know that with Samsung phones you can use two SIM cards. That's kind of nice. I do have a Samsung. Oh wait, I want to. Oh, I can't. I'm so stupid. I wanted to show y'all my pop socket, but I'm recording on my phone. Okay. So I just okay. Yesterday, no, not yesterday. 2 days ago, we went to Art Box and I got a new pop socket because my Koya one just kept falling off. So do you guys watch Demon Slayer? Because I got one, and you know how like the earrings are like the rising sun flag, and you know how that triggers Korean people. So it's like the earrings are changed to like the modern Japanese flag. It's just the red circle, not the like lines that go out from it. I thought that was very, very interesting. So I don't know, just fun side note. Okay, so it is Always here to help Bangtan. Bria's saying hi. I'm live streaming right now.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Huh? You can come in and say hi. Bria's gonna say hi. You smell like fried chicken.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Hello, live streamers.
I don't know if they can hear you because of my headphones, so maybe you gotta speak into this. I don't know. Bria! By the way, guys, it's Brea. She gets really, like, angsty about that.
It is not I.
Yeah.
My
Am I talking
parents
too
are
loud at all?
weirdo.
Or
I could not even hear you.
okay,
Actually, all
okay,
I
good.
heard was your door close when I walked in.
Okay, cool.
Closed the door 'cause I'm getting
Yeah, I hope there aren't any kids watching this, because sometimes there are.
I'm sorry, children.
Okay,
I'm an adult.
go on. Watch the water.
Sorry. Have a nice evening.
You enjoy yourself too. So, guys, Bria's getting a booty call right now. So, she's just letting me know that she has a guy over there. So, yeah. Eve, did Bria do her hair herself? Yep. So she did them like, she like parted them, and I like helped her braid down because she had to do like this network thingy. And then the other day she spent like 2 days redoing them because she wanted them to be down past her butt. She never has like normal length braids. They always have to be waist length or longer. So yeah, she did it all herself, and she's still not done because she wants to add like, curly pieces to it too. So Nia Jones, how safe is Korea compared to when you were in the UK? Honestly, I haven't been to many countries, but I always stand firm in the fact that the two countries I felt the most safe was Japan and Korea. Now, granted, you hear some dark stuff, like crime still happens here. It's just so less frequent. It's so much less likely. I've never been in a situation where I feel like I could go for a night walk by myself, but I do that here in Korea. Like when I first lived here, it was so hot during the day. I just didn't want to do anything during the daytime, but I would go out at night. I'd walk by the water, just sit on the rocks and enjoy Jeju, like the ocean. Even in Seoul, like if I was leaving the club from my friends and I was like, guys, I'm tired, I'm gonna go back early, I was never nervous about walking back by myself. And I honestly feel like a bit of a unicorn that I've never had to experience like anything that made me feel like seriously threatened. Like you get the occasional drunk dude that wants to play drinking with me. I want to go to your home. I was like, I don't know you. That's not happening. But I've never felt not safe. Um, there's been some close calls, but I'm a lot more cautious. Like in the UK, I mean, I spend most of my time in London, and I felt pretty safe there too. But when I would watch the news, I would hear about all these stalking incidents that turn violent and knifings, and I'm just like, where is this happening? Because I'm not getting any hint of that, like where I'm at. So Korea is definitely safer, in my opinion, than the UK, but I think the UK is definitely safer than the US. So it's all about perspective. Woo. Defalia, those must be heavy, but there's like, yeah, I don't know how she keeps doing these braids because even when she puts her hair up in a ponytail, she's like, oh, I need to take it down. I'm getting a tension headache. And it's too hot to have that much hair. Like, mine are pretty long too, but they're also quite thin, so they're light. And I don't mind. Like, mine come to like the top of my butt, but mostly like just down my back. And I don't mind because it's super light. I cannot wait to add more color to these. Okay, sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. Um, is it Lakeisha Wilson? Are you still going to Japan? No. So what had happened was basically if I wanted to go to Japan, I was gonna have to pay like several $1,000s for a chaperone's guided trip. And I wouldn't have the free reign to go see my boyfriend and his family. And what we're hoping for now is to maybe see what things are looking like around Christmas time. But right now, that's definitely not gonna happen. Thalia, does it hurt to talk? It doesn't hurt to talk. It's annoying that I keep having the need to cough. Like, but I don't. It's not like painful. It's very annoying though. Angie John, it's my first time watching you live. Welcome. Thank you. I honestly wasn't sure how this was going to go because, again, this is like the latest I've ever done a stream. It's almost 2 a.m. and, yeah. Antoinette, how's the weather like in November? In Korea, weather in November is actually among my favorite because you're getting like the pretty leaves changing, and oh my god, it's so pretty. But you also get like breezy days. You do get like pretty chilly nights, but I don't think it really starts to get cold here until like the end of November, December. But I think October and November is like a really good time for like perfect autumn weather. Like even when I look back at like my old Snapchats and I look at like what I was wearing on certain dates, I don't really didn't really have like my long padding or any heavy coat until like Christmas time. Okay, not Christmas time, but like the month of December, like when all the Christmas lights were up and everything. The only thing is, Korea doesn't do daylight saving, so you do have like short days, and that's a bit depressing. I hate these short days, but yeah, I like the November weather here. But then again, I don't like hot weather anyway. Like even it's summer here, it's summer everywhere. Oh my God, it's late, yeah. But yeah, like I haven't really been going out all that much. Like I haven't felt like it just because it's so hot. Like the other day, we were playing volleyball on the beach, and even though it was like sunset and we were enjoying the breeze, it was like 38 degrees outside. And in Fahrenheit, that's what, like 96 or something like that. It's just really hot. So, and like it just the hot air blowing at you. I can't with summer. Nia Jones, any safety tips for a woman coming to Korea alone? Yes, several. Um, Honestly, I know so many girls who come here like solo travel. My only thing is, the obvious things I'm sure you've heard, like don't go to a DVD bong with like a random. Do not do that. Um, it's always good to meet up with other girls. Like there's a lot of like social settings and like a lot of foreigner friendly places. Like as much as I get sick of seeing them Thursday party, it's like a really good place to meet other foreigners. Um, So it's like really easy to like meet other girls and be like, oh my God, I'm on a solo trip. Oh my God, me too. But I would also say like, especially like depending on where you're staying and your accommodation, because a lot of the housing in Korea is like down these random alleys. So I would just make sure you look over your shoulder to make sure there's not gonna be a guy who pops out and tries to like, you know. So definitely do that. Also, there are several apps that are good for like checking for like spy cams, for example. Like there's this one called Glimmer that I really like. Basically, it sends like a pulsing light on your camera, and like you can aim it around places where a camera would typically be. And if you see a reflection, you know that's a lens. That's crazy, right? So like, um, basically, when on your phone, the screen, what you're seeing is like a negative image, and like you can see a little red light if something's recording. You can see like a reflection if there's like a lens. So things like that. Um, yeah, I've made a few videos about that, but honestly, I don't want to create like a false sense of safety because I'm not trying to say Korea, nothing's going to happen to you. I'm just saying it's very, very, very unlikely. So always keep your guard up, but I wouldn't really give too much like concern over something bad happening to you as a woman. You know what I mean? Um, Ayana Hadley, are you coming back to the States? Um, To live, I don't know, but I am going back in November for Thanksgiving, and also my godmother will turn 50 this year in November, and she's having like a girls' trip to Jamaica. And it's funny because they literally told me I'm coming. They didn't ask me. They said, "So, I don't know what you're doing in November, but clear your schedule because like you're coming to Jamaica." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I will be in the States in November for a few weeks probably because I haven't spent Thanksgiving with my family since 2019. 2020, I was stuck in California with COVID because of COVID. Like I was not getting on a plane in November 2020. 2021, I was in London, and yeah, even in 2017 and 2018, I was in Korea. So I've only been to one Thanksgiving in like the last 6 years. That's crazy. So yeah, I will be in America in November. um, Amira, pepper spray illegal over there. Just thought of that. Oh yeah, yeah. Pepper spray is not legal here. Um, yeah, and it does suck because you know it's just a liquid. It's a powerful liquid, but it helps keep you safe. But a lot of weapons, like there's like no such thing as like any sort of defense weapon that's legal here. Somehow, like if you use it on a person, they can flip it and sue you for that, even when you were the one that was being assaulted by that. It's so crazy. Korean laws are so crazy here, and that's actually one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about in Monday's video because I just wanted to like kind of talk about how weak Korean punishment and crime is because there was this horrible story. It just happened on like July 15th. There was a man who he forced himself on a girl and he got her like really drunk and she ended up falling from a balcony and she died. And he's only facing like 11 to 14 years for that. And I mean, if this was the States and something like that happened, that would probably be 25 to life, like immediately. So, yeah. Pepper spray is illegal and it should not be. um, Kristen Higgins, how affordable is housing? Like, how much would you have to make, or what kind of job would be needed to live? Like, would you need a roommate type of deal to be able to afford housing? So it depends on where you live because, for example, I don't know if you guys saw the Airbnb tour I did of Bria's apartment, but this place is only $400 a month, and it's 2 bedrooms. It's a living room, kitchen. You got rooftop access, and then there's like this extra bedroom. So it just depends on where you are because the main thing that gives people problems with like moving out and moving into Korean accommodation is the like deposit, the key money. That's what usually ends up costing the most. But like, for example, I think in Seoul her rent was like 1150 or 1650, somewhere between that. And it was like a 2 bedroom tiny place. Um, like my first apartment was a studio in Jeju and that was 500 a month. And my second apartment was a 1 bedroom in Taean and that was like 350 a month. So it just depends on where you are. Like Taean is a very small town. Nobody wants to live there. That's why I had a bigger room with less money. The main thing is the key money. So like when you're a teacher, for example, the school will usually already have the deposit situation sorted out for you. So that is what usually gives people like the most problems when they're trying to move. But I think other than that, rent is pretty, you know, I can only compare it to like what it's like in America or the UK because those are the only other places I've like spent extensive time. But I would say it's probably about the same as London or New York. No, not New York. That's I lied. New York is ridiculously expensive. But like where I live in, or my mom lives in Baltimore. So yeah, the key money, the deposit is what usually people end up having to save up for and stuff when they want to move here. Bangtania, are winters bad in Korea like snowstorms? Hell yeah. Oh my God. Snowstorms in Korea, like winters here are pretty brutal. It is bitterly cold. You get like dry, crispy wind blowing at you, and you get a lot of snow on top of that. But I love snow, so I'm not complaining. But if you don't like snow, be warned of Korean winters. But snow is beautiful, especially when it happens around the right time. Like if you're up at Namsan Tower and you're looking out at like Seoul and you just see the snowflakes falling, it's really pretty. Um, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Eve, do YouTubers get revenues from shorts? I think you do have the option to monetize them. I've only done like 2 or 3 shorts and I have not monetized them because why would I monetize a video that's like 15 seconds? But yeah, like we can monetize our stories too, but again, why would you want to monetize something that's like 15 seconds? But yeah, I think you can, just depending on like if there's copyright in it or music or anything like that. Whew. Um, Best places to live in South Korea as a foreigner. I mean, if you mean as like you want to be around other foreigners or like is foreigner friendly. The Itaewon area, I know that's like cliched, but they have like a lot of diverse food markets and you can probably find cuisine that reminds you of home more easily there. Um, Also, I've in my experience, a lot of Koreans there tend to speak English pretty well, and they go because they want to practice it and they want to have foreign friends. But honestly, anywhere in Seoul, I think would you'd be fine as a foreigner, or even Busan. I feel like people don't give Busan enough love. I love Busan. I low key slash high key love Busan way more than Seoul. Like you get the same big city aesthetic without the crowds of people. You get these beautiful skyscrapers right on the water with the palm trees and the mountains. Busan is beautiful. I don't know why more people don't go to Busan. Like if I could choose now, like if I would have spent so much time in Seoul versus Busan, I would have gone to Busan. Like I've only been to Busan twice, and both times I did not want to leave. Busan is amazing. Oh, I like this. Leslie Moore, I promise you that hairspray will do the trick. Spray it in their eyes, it works just as well. That's a good tip. If you guys are, you know how they have like travel size sprays and hairsprays and stuff, that might be something worth keeping around, especially because you can use the defense. Korean girls always have like their bangs rolled around those rollers, and you put the hairspray on it so it can set. So you always have like a little mini thing of hairspray with you, and they sell it a lot here. So that might be a good alternative to pepper spray. That's actually a really good tip. Thank you. Oh, real nukes. I don't know if you've answered this question, if you've asked this question, but how is COVID in Korea right now? Girl, it's on the rise, like in a big way. So, when I came here in May, it was trending down like very, like only less than 10,000 cases a day. And back in April is when it was up to like over 100,000 cases a day, and now we're back to those numbers. This BA.5 variant is no joke. It is spreading, but I'm also very like I'm not surprised because I've seen when people gather indoors, like even when I go out like to the restaurant or clubbing, I'm the only one who wears a mask. I'm just like, why does no one care anymore? This is so frustrating. Or like when I'm on Instagram watching like my friends' stories and I see like they're in Seoul and they're in the club and nobody's wearing a mask. I'm not surprised that it's way back up again. It's trending in the wrong direction. Over 100,000 cases a day right now. Yeah, not good. Uh, um, uh, Tasha Marshall, do you ever miss living in the U.S.? I miss how I felt in the U.S. when Obama was president. I don't have many fond memories of life in the States since the Cheeto was elected. I just feel like the country is so much more divisive. I feel like greed has taken over. I feel like the gun violence is out of control. Our rights are being stripped away. And there's so much more hate crime. So, I mean, obviously, my family, like, I do love to see them and I miss them. And I really like California. Like, I love the Cali vibes, even though LA is expensive for no reason. And it's definitely overhyped. But I miss America under Obama, is what I'll say. Like, my first few years of college and high school and stuff, Obama was a great man, great president. Gabrielle Fortune, was it fairly easy to make friends in Korea? Here's my thing. I am very much an introvert, so I typically do find it hard to make friends. I'm not the one ever to go to a person to start a conversation. Like, I'm just not built that way. Here it is so different because I feel like the interest in visiting Korea is such a specific niche, if that makes sense. Like people who come here 9 times out of 10, they like the food, they like the culture, they like K-pop, they like dramas, something along those lines. So you will have something in common with other people. It's amazing. Like even walking around with my little Koya plushie on my bag, people will come up to me like, "Oh my God, I love BT21, I love BTS, I love Koya," and then they're like, "Oh my God, we should exchange cacaos," and like, next thing you know, you're friends. It is so easy here to make foreign friends. Korean friends, it depends because you do have those people who kind of just want to talk with you a little bit because they want to practice their English or they're not comfortable enough with their English that they don't want to continue communication and they'll just ghost. So like if you become fluent in Korean, you can definitely make Korean friends very easily. But I wouldn't come here relying on English and expecting to make like a lot of Korean friends. But making foreign friends is very easy here. Because you have something in common with someone with everyone here. Like came as a teacher, you're in the military, like you have something in common with other foreigners here. It happens every single time. So I would not worry about that at all here. Excuse me. Whew. Do you see yourself in Korea for a long time, or do you see yourself staying in the U.S. for the rest of your life? Here's my thing. I definitely have no plans or desires to ever move back to Korea. Like that is not anything I'm interested in. I like to come here for visits. Like I have a lot of fun visiting here. I have my friends here. I don't have that many friends. And especially since I've moved so much as a kid, a lot of my friends kind of come and go. So the ones that I've made here are like my longest running friends and like my best friends. So I do like to come here to see them. I do like to come here because I feel safe when I'm here. Um, and when I come here as a visitor, I'm on tourist mode, so it's different. Like I don't miss the working environment. I don't miss trying to make any sort of long-term plan with people here. Like I miss having diversity. So I know for a fact I'm not gonna live in Korea. That is not anywhere in the scope of what I want anymore. As far as the U.S., there would have to be a lot of changes, a lot of cleaning up before I'm like I'm moving back to America. So I'm optimistic if that would ever happen. Sure, I go back, but right now I have no interest in being in America. Every time I check my email, there's been a mass shooting. Literally. I don't know why I get those alerts on my email, but every time I check, there's been a shooting. I don't want to be a part of that. Like even when I first came back to the US in 2019, I remember me and my dad went to see Captain Marvel and I was nervous in the movie theater. I'm like eyeballing the exit to make sure that if worst case scenario, I can beeline and get out of this place in case some crazy person walks in here with a gun. And I shouldn't feel that way. When I go to the grocery store with my mom, like last year for Christmas, I'm like looking around, see if anybody's suspicious. Like that's how I feel about being in the States. So I don't miss that either. Um, Tisha Marshall, how can you find cheap apartments in Korea? Y'all want to hear something funny? Bria actually found this apartment on a website called Dangun Market. Dangun, it means carrot. Sorry, hold on. Ooh, that honey tastes good. Yeah, she actually found this apartment on Dangun Market. Um, Apparently that is a place where you can find all sorts of deals and people sell, trade, and buy stuff. But I've also heard of a lot of people having a lot of success finding apartments on Facebook. I don't use Facebook anymore, so I can't really speak to this. But when I lived here, I did use Facebook a lot. A lot of Facebook groups, expat groups. You share information. Hey, looking for a roommate for these days, this moving day. Um, I'm moving out of this apartment. Need someone to take over the lead. That sort of thing. So I would check Facebook and maybe even Dangun Market because Bria got lucky with that. You might get lucky too. The Cheeto. Yeah, I still call him the Cheeto. I don't ever want to refer to his name ever again. Have you ever met a celebrity in Korea? Uh, Not that I know of. I've seen a few, but I've never talked to them. Like even when I worked okay, fun story. I used to work at this restaurant in the US called Famous Dave's and I lived in Owings Mills, and it was very like right by the Baltimore Ravens training camp. Baltimore Ravens is the Baltimore Ravens football team, NFL. I love my Ravens, and we used to have a lot of the athletes come in and out for lunch. I never went up to them like they would say hi to me or something or ask for a table. I did keep one of their receipts because like they signed it and I thought, hey, I have your autograph. But I even if I do see a celebrity, I know myself and I know I would not be that person brave enough to go up and ask for a photo or to acknowledge, oh my God, I'm a huge fan because part of me feels like they just want to live their life and they don't want to be bothered. But part of me also feels like I just don't have the guts to do it. So even if I did meet a famous person, I would probably take a little low key photo. But yeah, I'm not built that way. I have seen a few, but I've never met any of them. Yeah. Real nukes, would you consider making a video about what clothes you wear in a week or like what to wear clubbing in different districts, Hongdae versus Gangnam? Because I don't want to be denied entry. I could do something like that. Um, but also like I think the way I dress just doesn't align with the general female. Like okay, what I mean is when it's summertime, I don't really like to wear skirts, like short skirts and short sleeve shirts. Like I don't like to have a lot of my flesh open to mosquitoes, for example. I'm just paranoid that way. Like even when I spray myself and I see them, I get like I start rubbing myself so they don't land. I can't stand getting bit by mosquitoes. So I typically still wear jeans in the summer and stuff. I very rarely wear like a halter top or back out or sleeves and stuff. I do like long skirts and dresses. I usually wear my skirts in colder weather, which is so backwards, but I like to wear them with tights and boots and stuff. Um, but yeah, I could maybe do a video about that because yeah, Gangnam is definitely where a district where you have to be more dressy, like and like a showgirl, like more provocative, like a skin tight little black dress and some heels. Whereas Hongdae is more of like a hip hop vibe, so you can wear like jeans and a crop top, and you'd be perfectly fine, and a bucket hat or something. So I could maybe do something like that. But I also haven't been to Hongdae since 2019, so I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about that. I've not been clubbing there. I'm definitely too old to be clubbing in Hongdae. 0 1200. What's the weather like in Korea late August, early September? Um, Throughout August, it is still very humid and muggy. It's not very pleasant. I think September is when it starts to get nicer. It starts to be, and I don't know what the temperature. I use Fahrenheit. I'm sorry. In September, it's probably like 80, 75 to 80 degrees. You get those spikes in the upper 80s, but what's that in Celsius? Like 20, 20, 18, something like that. Because, okay, this is a dorky thing, but I remember every time I've acknowledged Namjoon's birthday in Korea, which is always, it's September, it's always been a very nice and pleasant day where it's not too hot, not too humid, not too many mosquitoes out. So September, I mean, I already like autumn. That's my favorite season. So when the weather starts to cool off, I'm already a lot happier. But August, summer is still going very strong here. It's very humid. The air is thick. Like, oh my God, summers here are no joke. Um, Katie Blue. I really want to visit the US, but I'm too terrified of shootings because it's too random. There's no way to predict. Yeah. Girl, trust me, I fully understand. And I just saw some news that I'm cautiously optimistic about, but the House just passed a ban on assault rifles. But I know the Senate is not going to pass it. I know it's going to die in the Senate because not only do all 50 Democrats need to vote for it, but they need like 10 Republicans to do it too, and that's not going to happen. So I'm not all that optimistic, but yeah, I don't like, honestly, I think I'm already an introvert, but I feel like because of the random shootings, I'm already nervous when a lot of people are gathered. It's just not fair. It's ridiculous. Like if someone's gonna kill me, let it be for something I did to them, not just because I was going grocery shopping and you got a grudge. Like that is anyway. 죄송합니다. Nia Jones, what shoes do you wear in the clubs in Seoul? Heard no sandals or trainers, so unsure of what to bring. Most girls do wear heels. I don't wear heels. Like I don't even know if I don't really even own a pair of heels. I think I've worn heels to the club one time and I regretted it. I sat down all night. I was like, I can't walk anymore, but I don't want to take my shoes off on this dirty floor. And then people step on your toes. I've never had a problem getting into a club with sneakers on. But again, it depends on the type of club because places in Gangnam tend to have more strict of a dress code. Um, I've never heard of. Oh, I lied. So we did go to that place in Jeju. What was it called? I forgot what it was called. But I told you guys about how they're very selective with the foreigners they let in. They say, "Oh no, we didn't let them in, not let them in because they're black. We didn't let them in because of how they were dressed." So we got in no problem, and I had on sandals that day. So I don't. They're clearly not being completely honest. But they also didn't let the Korean guys that were with us in because they were wearing sandals and shorts. I did have to sign like a little waiver because they saw my shoes and saw my toes were out, so I had to sign like a safety, like you're acknowledging that if your toes get fucked, that's on you. So you know this is not on us. That was a first. I did have to do that though. Um, like when I go clubbing with Bria, she always wears heels. And I hate when she does it because then she don't ever want to dance. She wants to sit down. When I go clubbing with our friend Erin, we always wear like sneakers and boots, like Doc Martens. Maybe like a booty. Like I'm a big fan of wearing booties to the club. Like it has a thick heel and it's not that high, so it doesn't hurt your foot, and it's so much more comfortable. So yeah, I do like a good booty. Oh, I love this name, Flocky Filmworks. Sorry, Cece. Do you have in any way? Wait. Do you in any way have a Nigerian blood in your family? Well, when I took the 23andMe test, I found out 38% of me is Nigerian, and that is like the largest percentage of any one region or demographic or country. So I'm mostly Nigerian, even though there's like breakdowns, smaller breakdowns of other stuff. But yeah, I am. And I'm hoping because my grandmother said next year when she turns 70, she wants to take a trip to Nigeria, and I want to hijack and go with her so bad. But I don't know how all that's going to go with COVID. I don't know. But I would love to go. That would be amazing. Um, I heard tattoos are illegal in Korea because you have to have a medical license, but none of them do. And clearly they just don't take the skin off. But does that work? Huh? Okay, so the thing with that, yes, it's true. Technically, you're not supposed to be doing tattoos unless you're like a licensed uh physician, medical person. Forgot the word. But there are a ton of tattoo parlors. It's like an open secret. Like everybody knows people get tattoos. Tattoos are becoming so much more common. I'm like in shock by how often I see a casual person with tattoos. Like, but I've seen some people where I'm like they might be like the mob or mafia. Like they look like tattoo shirt, like wrist up to neck, neck to waist, and like it's just all black tattoos. I've seen so many sleeves. I've seen, girls with like cute little dainty butterflies, and I've seen guys with like big calf tattoos. It's so common now. It is technically illegal unless the person doing it is a licensed physician, but nobody ever really enforces that, if that makes sense. So I actually might get another one soon. I want hella tattoos still, but I like tiny, like Easter eggy tattoos. I want a little one, a lot of little ones. But yeah. um, Sweet and two. I don't know if you answered this question, but how much longer will you be in South Korea? I am leaving Korea at the end of August, so I got a month left here. Yep, yep. Real nukes, how would you say people in Korea view those with tattoos? Because in Japan, yeah, yeah, in Japan, I think they're still a lot more strict than they are here in Korea. I know in Japan, when you have a tattoo, they assume you're in a yakuza, but here it's a lot more casual because so many more people have them. Like they'll just have like a random one on their wrist. Um, but you will still see, for example, in like TV show banks and stuff, like when idols perform, they still have to cover them. Like Hyolyn just had her new song, No Thanks, and I saw she was wearing a crop top, and she has like that cross here under on her chest, and she still has to wear like those nude bandages to cover it. It's so dumb because we know it's a tattoo, but yeah. So I think people are more open and casual to it than like the government is, if that makes sense. Like they still have restrictions and still want to hide it, but the average person, I don't think they really think twice about it because so many people have tattoos now. 01200. Did anyone have any troubles with checked in baggage when traveling internationally to Korea? I haven't. Like like I said, I did have that one mishap. when I flew from DC to Beijing to Shanghai. But because of Typhoon Ling Ling in 2019, my flight from Beijing to Seoul was canceled. So I got to Seoul like 2 days later and about 5 hours before my luggage arrived. So I just waited at the airport. But they did offer to like, they said, all right, so, and that was like, oh yeah, that's actually probably something important to mention. So they gave me the option of just giving them the address where I'll be staying, and they were going to send it to me free of charge. Like they were going to send me my bag whenever it arrived because it wasn't my fault. It wasn't on me. It was kind of the airline and all that stuff. But I was like, you know what? I'm not in a rush. I can just wait in the airport. Y'all got Wi-Fi. I'll just wait here for my bags to come. Nia Jones, is it hard lugging around a suitcase if you're changing Airbnbs or visiting new areas? I would say so. Yeah, especially if you're in Seoul because it is such a mountainous place. Like all these random steep, nearly vertical 90-degree hills that you have to climb and drag your luggage up is not very accessible, especially if you're taking the bus or the train. And they're usually crowded. So if you take a taxi, you'll probably be fine. That's actually another thing I wanted to like mention because I find it kind of interesting that Seoul actually is going through a taxi driver shortage right now because with the whole Russia-Ukraine invasion, gas has been going up everywhere. Inflation is out of control everywhere. But one thing that's good for us, but unfortunate for taxi drivers, is while gas prices keep going up, and recently in Korea they've been kind of getting more like stagnant and plateauing and dropping a little bit, but the fares have not gone up. So like we still pay the same for a taxi, but the taxi drivers still have to pay for their own gas. So people have been finding that in Seoul it's a lot harder to get a taxi. You're waiting longer for taxis, and they say because these days a lot of taxi drivers are opting to do like food delivery. They're doing like pedal or what's the other delivery service? I don't know. PayPal is like the one we use the most. But yeah, so that's something that's interesting to like think about and pay attention to because it might be harder to get a taxi with your luggage, so you might have to take the trains and the buses and they're crowded and there's a lot of hills. I don't miss that. Oh man. Cherry, are Koreans getting more acceptable to diversity like black people, overweight people, or some wearing revealing clothes? I will say for a fact, I've noticed Korean girls are dressing a lot more revealing. I remember it was not that long ago where you couldn't even show your shoulders. Now I've seen girls walk around with like a sheer blouse and a bright colored bra underneath, and I'm like, okay, sis, okay. I remember there was a time where you couldn't really wear leggings in Korea as your bottoms. Like you had to wear like a tunic style shirt that was long enough to cover your butt. Girls here wear leggings all the time, form fitting, revealing their figure. A lot of that has changed. It's become a lot more progressive. Like the fashion, what you see in the windows and stuff, and what you see as an option to buy. They don't have girls walking around dressing like nuns and little prairie girls anymore. So that is one thing I can say. They're not as, judgmental about like revealing clothing. As far as diversity with race and size go, it's a work in progress. I mean, like I said, racism exists everywhere. Like we all know that. You won't be like approached and attacked because you're black. Like there's not gonna be a Korean person who comes up to you, spits in your face, and tells you to get out of my country or anything like stuff like that. I feel like is more likely to happen in America, for example. Will you get stared at? Yes, it's annoying. That is like the most isolating feeling I feel because you can just feel people's eyes on you. That's annoying. But as far as diversity, I think it's only getting better. It's definitely not like plateauing or going backwards. It's only getting better. It's slow and steady. It could be faster. But yeah, I think, as more people show interest in coming here, as Korean people travel, like there's so many Korean people who are like starting to like travel abroad and they have such a strong passport for a reason. Like when we went to that bar, Minority Opinion, It was funny because a lot of those people were kind of scared to like talk with us and practice their English. They were like, "Oh, we don't. Oh, but I'm not good at English. I don't want to talk." But this dude, after he had one drink, he just started talking, chatting us up, and he was telling us, "Oh, I've been to Greece. I've been to Ireland. I've been to Italy. I've been to the U.S. I've been to Canada." When you find that Korean people are traveling more and popping the bubble of Korea, that they tend to be a lot more welcoming and diverse. And I feel like it's becoming so much more common for Korean people to travel. So I feel like it can only get better, if that makes sense. And then a lot of us do come here to teach. So like as these generations of kids grow up, they're like they've had that exposure to foreign teachers. Their elementary school English teacher was a black lady. Their high school English teacher was a white dude. You know what I mean? So I think it only gets better and more normalized over time. So, sorry, that was a very long explanation. I'm so sorry. Where are you heading next after you leave Korea at the end of the month? So, the current plan is to go back to London. The thing is, we are thinking about taking like a 10-day trip to Thailand and then flying from Thailand to London, but that's a big if. But right now, yeah, the plan is to go back to London. I need to do some scrolling because that was a very long explanation. I'm so sorry. It feels so weird doing these again. I feel a little rusty. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end this in about 10 minutes or so. It's like 2:30. And I think, I mean, not only am I coughing, but also it's late, so I feel like my voice might be getting worse. And I'm sorry that you have to hear me sounding like this. Okay. Um Nia Jones, do Koreans like British people? Feels like it's more Americanized than British. Okay, I can definitely confirm that. It's not liking British people less than Americans or anything like that, but I think Korea's relationship overall is closer with the US than it is with the UK. Like even little things, like if you go to McDonald's and you want to order from the machine and you see a flag that represents every country, you'll see, Japan's flag, and then for English, you just see the American flag. Like America, the U.S. is the only place where we speak English. I find it kind of, and I find it kind of funny. I find it kind of sad. Or like even when we're teaching English in school, we're teaching Americanized English. So like, you know how some people, I think in like Canada and the UK, they say Z. We're taught to tell them Z. It's not Z, it's Z. Um, and you do have kids would get confused because they're like, oh, my last mentor teacher or my last teacher said Z instead of Z, but like the they're taught Americanized spelling and things like that. I don't think it's liking British people less. It's just annoyingly so. The U.S. is a very influential country, and I think Korea is just tighter socially, economically, militarily with the U.S. So I think it's definitely very Americanized. Yeah. All right. I saw another good question up there. I don't know where it went. Uh, oh, Lilac Bursell. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't, and I'm so sorry. There's a lot of bullying scandals in K-pop. Do you think it's true? And I think the bullying in Korea is really scary. Like kids really think they can hit someone or more. I mean, of course, I think some of the bullying is true, but I think like what was happening with what's that actor? Ju mm, Yo, Juhyuk? Is it Juhyuk? He was in like Weightlifting Fairy. Nam Juhyuk? You guys know what I'm talking about. How basically a netizen came forward and said that they were relentlessly bullied by this man for like 6 years. But that didn't make sense because he wasn't in that one school for 6 years and then he moved to the other side of Korea. So it's like, did you transfer with him to experience further bullying? So things like that. Obviously, people lie because they want to ruin someone's career or they want attention. But no doubt in my mind, bullying is a serious, serious issue here. And I've witnessed it firsthand as an English teacher. And the thing that is very frustrating is the teachers here tend to be very dismissive about it. So I don't know where you guys are from, but I remember vividly, like growing up in the States, there's a strong no bullying tolerance. Like you bring in the parents, they get suspended, they get reprimanded, there's detention and things like that, and the parents get talked to them like you will be expelled if it goes too far, things like that. Whereas here, the worst thing that could happen is like the kid would be forced to transfer or something. And I've seen so many situations where two kids were arguing, it was getting heated, and one of the students was definitely less okay than the other, like the bully and the victim. And I'm telling my mentor teacher, shouldn't we stop this? And she said, oh, it's okay, they'll solve this. I'm like, he's crying, I don't think he's okay. And so many of them were just expect, oh, they're kids, the kids will be kids, they're just playing, they'll talk this out, it's okay. So I was not that teacher. I would like just get close to him, or I would like bring the student away, separate them, and I would make it a point to isolate the good from the bad. Like I would love to give candy to the good ones and to tell the bad ones like when you fight with other kids, I can't give you candy. They're like, teacher, and I'm like, you can't do that. You can't throw this. You can't hit him. That's not okay. Because they really do normalize it a lot, and that is one of my biggest gripes, if I use that word correctly, with the schooling system here in Korea. Like even when I was just substituting at the Hagwon in June, there was a few times where this one boy, very, I think he was like I think he was undiagnosed with something, but he would be like the chillest, fine, like funny teacher, like wanting to play, and then just pushing the crap out of a kid and so aggressive for no reason. And I literally like he was trying to fight me. Like I had to pull him aside, hand on the shoulder. You can't do that. Shit, get off of me, get off of me. And he was only like 12, so yeah, bullying is a real problem here. I think some of it's true, and from what you see in like K-pop, but it's definitely true in real life more so than K-pop. I think. um, Sombra Main, by the way, or BTW, in Germany, even the police can get involved if bullying gets too far. Yeah, that happens in the States too, and I think the cops even escalated farther, where they start like body slamming the bully. I'm like, still a child, like relax, but yeah. Here, like if some bullying got out of hand, you would very rarely, if ever, I don't think you could call the cops. I think they would be like, that's a civil thing, or the the person who would like deal out the consequence would be like your homeroom teacher. Like, I'll get your homeroom teacher. You don't want me to get your homeroom teacher. So, LOL, would you like to have kids? Yeah, one day, I suppose. Um, right now, I'm still just interested in traveling and developing myself before I bring a life into this world. Also, there's not a whole lot that I feel optimistic about bringing a child into, with the world on fire, political instability and violence, and it's expensive. So I'm not too keen on having a kid anytime soon. Peach Smith, you did mention the military, but are foreign women allowed to enter Korean military? It's not Korean military. It's like foreign military, like American soldiers, at American bases. So yeah, it's not foreigners who enter Korean military. That's like a whole separate thing. Um, I'm sure there might be like joint exercises and training sometimes, but yeah, like if you're American, I'm not saying to come here and join the Korean military. You would like join the military in America and then maybe be stationed in Korea. I don't know how that works. Like I don't know if you can request where to go or if you just go where you're needed. So I can't answer all that, but yeah. I've met a lot of foreign military girls in the military here, like a lot. Like a lot. Nia G, I was bullied by everybody and even my teacher in school. Maybe, oh, this arrow's in front. Maybe they didn't give AF in Ohio. I had a bully too, but I was kind of too shy to like tell a teacher, so I kind of had to deal with it on my own. And actually, my little brother ended up saving me from it because the girl that was bullying me had a crush on my brother, so he would be nice to her to get her to leave me alone. But yeah, I don't know about the teacher. That sucks, man. I've seen some like shitty teachers. I've seen the viral videos. Not everybody's meant to be a teacher, and I feel like there needs to be like tougher screening for that. Like if you don't like your job, don't take it out on who you're supposed to be working for. You know what I mean? All right, guys. I think I might be ending this. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. It is 2:33. And I think the questions are kind of slowing down a bit. So, yeah. But yeah, if you guys want me to do these more often, I can do them more often. I'm hoping next week actually I'll be out somewhere so like I can vlog like with my settings. I was actually gonna vlog on the roof today, but it's been raining nonstop all day, so I was like I'm stuck in the room. But yeah, like next week if we end up out to eat or in a cafe or clubbing, if this is a good time, we can do this again. So thank you guys for joining. This was a lot of fun. I hope I answered some questions. I'm gonna stop talking so I can save my voice. Bye! Thanks for watching if you did. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong!